We all know that Albert Einstein was the greatest genius in history. He was so brilliant that he could think better than thousands of scientists combined. He thought of and understood things that we humans can't even imagine, let alone comprehend. Not only that, he made those concepts easier for the entire world. Albert Einstein was a physicist who amazed the world with his groundbreaking theories, including the theory of relativity, E equals mc squared, and the photoelectric effect. For these extraordinary contributions, he was also awarded the Nobel Prize. Seeing his incredible ability to think and understand, people believed that Einstein had a special brain, one that was vastly different from ordinary humans. Even Einstein was aware of his perception, which is why he didn't want any part of his body to be researched after his death. In fact, he had left instructions that after his death, his body should be cremated and turned into ashes. But what he feared ended up happening. On April 18, 1955, when Einstein passed away at Princeton Hospital, the doctor who came to perform the autopsy secretly removed his brain. The doctor was curious to find out what was so unique about the brain of the world's greatest genius. Welcome to our channel. Ladies and gentlemen, the man who stole Einstein's brain was Dr. Thomas Harvey. He was more interested in studying this special brain than worrying about the consequences of his actions. A few days later, when Princeton Hospital discovered what Dr. Harvey had done, he lost his job. However, Dr. Harvey somehow managed to convince Einstein's son, Hans Albert, to grant him permission to study the brain and reveal its secrets to the world. This marked the beginning of the long journey of Einstein's brain. Dr. Harvey was a pathologist, someone who specializes in conducting postmortems. He believed that he could conduct meaningful research on such a brilliant brain. After losing his job at Princeton, he took Einstein's brain, which he had already preserved, and moved to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. There, he took numerous photographs of the brain and then cut it into 240 small pieces, preserving each piece in separate jars in his basement. Dr. Harvey's obsession with the brain often led to arguments with his wife, who would threaten to throw the brain away. These disputes escalated to the point where the couple divorced. Dr. Harvey then moved to Wichita, Kansas, taking the brain with him. He took a job as a medical supervisor at a biological testing lab and spent his free time attempting to study Einstein's brain. Over the years, he kept moving from one job to another, carrying the brain with him across various cities. Decades passed, but Dr. Harvey failed to conduct any significant research on the brain. Eventually, his medical license was revoked and he had to take a job at a plastic factory. It was at this point that Dr. Harvey made one sensible decision. He decided to send the pieces of Einstein's brain to the best neuropathologists around the world for detailed research. He acted on this plan, and in 1985, 30 years after the brain was stolen, the first study on Einstein's brain was published. Over the next 28 years, numerous studies were conducted by neuropsychologists worldwide. These studies revealed that Einstein's brain was indeed different from that of an average human. The most notable difference was found in the part of the brain called the corpus callosum. To understand this, it's important to know that the human brain is divided into two hemispheres. Any task we perform is first processed in one hemisphere, which then signals the corresponding part of our body. The left hemisphere controls the right side of our body, while the right hemisphere controls the left side. Moreover, in 90% of humans, the left brain is responsible for activities like speaking, understanding, mathematical calculations, and writing. On the other hand, the right brain handles creativity, recognizing shapes, art, and musical skills. Now, you might wonder what role the corpus callosum plays in all of this. Imagine you're typing on a keyboard or a mobile phone. Both hands are busy typing. Some letters are typed by the right hand while others by the left. If your left hand makes a mistake, you quickly use your right hand to correct it. This means that when your right brain made a mistake, it instantly signaled to the left brain to fix it. The communication between the two hemispheres is facilitated by the corpus callosum, and Einstein's corpus callosum was larger than ordinary humans, meaning his left and right brain hemispheres had a very strong connection. This strong connection allowed Einstein to imagine and solve complex problems and situations simultaneously. Besides the larger corpus callosum, Einstein's brain structure was very different from that of ordinary humans. Researchers believe this led to a more efficient flow of neurons in his brain. A better flow of neurons means enhanced problem-solving abilities, particularly in mathematical calculations. Einstein had the remarkable ability to solve complex mathematical problems without using pen or paper, relying solely on his brain. One research study revealed that while the average human brain weighs about 1,400 grams, Einstein's brain weighed only 1,230 grams. Researchers attributed this to the thinner lining of his brain, which resulted in a higher concentration of neurons. However, the key question was whether Einstein was born with this special brain or if these changes developed later in his life. Studies revealed that when Einstein was born, he couldn't speak for the first 5 years of his life. Unlike an average child who begins speaking around 2 or 3 years of age, Einstein started speaking late and even then preferred to stay quiet, lost in his thoughts. His ability to memorize things was also quite limited, so much so that he struggled to remember simple math tables. However, Einstein excelled in processing numbers logically rather than memorizing them. During his school years, he failed in nearly every subject except for math and science, where he consistently scored the highest marks. At the age of 12, a family tutor accidentally left a geometry book at Einstein's house. Remarkably, Einstein read the entire book in a single day and mastered its concepts. By the age of 14, Einstein had already become an expert in integral and differential calculus. His grasp of math and science was so strong that whenever he raised his hand to ask a question in class, professors would feel nervous because Einstein's questions often went over their heads. Even at a young age, he aspired to condense the laws of the universe into a single equation, which became his lifelong goal. At the age of 26, Einstein published 4 groundbreaking research papers, leaving the world astonished. These papers earned him a PhD and the Nobel Prize for his significant contributions to humanity. You can gauge his influence by the fact that even today, modern science would be incomplete without Einstein's research. Doctors and scientists concluded that Einstein's brain became special after his birth. The primary reason was his habit of finding answers to his questions independently, when no one else could provide them. This practice from an early age helped his brain develop further. Today, Einstein's extraordinary brain is preserved in America's Mütter Museum, where it's stored securely in microscopic slides for study and display. We hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys in the next exciting video.